Hello, my friends. I wanted to talk about a couple of things. One, what some of my favorite things were in January. I know I did a reading update, and I will get better at those because I know I really struggled with giving descriptions, if any at all, other than I didn't like it and here's why, or I did and here's why. So, yeah, I'll get better at that. Um, I also wanted to talk about my goals for the month of February. I know we're already a week into February, at least when filming this, um, but there's still plenty of time. I can still continue to try and work on these goals and try and get them in and done. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and talk about the goals, get those mentioned out of the way. So the first goal for the month of February is to start to lose weight again. um, January was stressful, and I tend to eat when I am stressed. So, not sometimes when I'm bored, I do get a little munchy and want to munch on something like nuts and sunflower seeds. But when I'm stressed, I tend to overdo it. February has been better. I'm already down 2 pounds this month. So hopefully I can keep that momentum up and not get so stressed out. So I want to keep that momentum up. Goal number 2 for the month of February. I guess it's more like a task, but it's like when I'm planning my videos for March that I want to film, I don't want to feel rushed with filming them. So my goal is to get the planning done, not so much in a timely, in a timely manner, but be more conscientious of what I'm going to enjoy filming, what I want to film, and kind of not try to plan things so last minute. I think that's part of why have been so stressed. But once I started kind of organizing and planning things, that kind of helped my stress level go down a little bit. So I would like to start planning my March videos. If there's any readathons I want to participate in, any buddy reads I want to participate in, anything like that. So I kind of want to start, what about tags? Start kind of planning those and looking at those to see what and when I want to do those, and hopefully get those up and in a good manner pick what days I want those to go live as well. So that's my goal, is kind of plan things out a little bit more so that's not last minute. Goal number 3, I am working on cleaning the storage area in the basement. We have 2 rooms in the basement. One, the previous owners used as an office, and the other one, it was more like a food storage area. So I'm working on cleaning things up in the food storage area, which everything's just boxed and stuff, and we're using it mostly just for storage stuff anyway. So like extra blankets and just random stuff like that. So I would like to kind of clean that up a little bit, decide what can go in there, and then to move my cat, like her litter box and food, into that area, because it's on a concrete floor, and so if where she's getting older, she is throwing up more, and so it'd be easier to clean up on concrete compared to carpet. So which I've done fine cleaning it up in the one room, but I think it'd be better in the other one, and that's also where the furnace is and stuff, and so it's like I just want to move things in there. I think it'll be just storage wise better to keep her food and everything, and then easier cleanup as well. That leads me to goal number 4, which is to get my cat Ophelia used to a new feeding regime. It used to be, and this has been this way since my very first cat, when I was very little, before my parents divorced. So like 6 years old, 5 years old. When we would have a cat, we would just fill their food bowl and their water bowl. It would always be filled. When it was empty, we would just top it off. And the cats have been able to regulate themselves. Ophelia is now 11. She's going to be 12, or she will be 11. One of the two. I've got to figure that out. But she is getting older. And I know that as cats get older, they can tend to either have more hairballs or just vomit more. And so I want to do better and kind of try and make things just a little easier as she gets older. I looked on the cat food and I actually weighed her the other day, and so she's supposed to get like 3/4 of a cup to a cup every day of dry food. So I got a container and it came with a little measuring cup that is a half a cup. So I'll give her half a cup in the morning, half a cup at night. And then I'll also intersperse some wet cat food and that's on the vet's suggestion to try and make things a little easier for her digestion. They don't want her, they said eventually she'll probably have to be on 100% on wet food, but if she can handle dry food right now, it's good because it helps with cleaning the teeth and stuff like that. So I'm just going to start integrating the wet cat food as well. Maybe give her a can. I don't know yet. I have to figure that out, because the cans say to give 3 cans a day, and holy crap, that is so expensive. So maybe if I do kind of like as a lunch, I can give her a can or half a can. Since we'll have the dry food morning and night, do like maybe half a can in the afternoon and then the next day the other half. I'm still trying to figure that out, but that's definitely a goal, is to get that situated and get her used to her new feeding regime. Goal number 5 is to write letters to my grandparents. I'm so bad with letter writing. I want to write to my grandma and then my grandma and grandpa. Obviously, I would like to write to more family, but with work and YouTube and other things that I want to do, it's one thing to pop out a birthday card so they know I'm thinking about them, or a text, but I really want to sit down and write a letter to my grandma who lives in Colorado, and then my grandma and grandpa who are in New Mexico. So it's been quite a while since I've done that, and I really want to do that. So that's a task, but I am saying it's also a goal because of how much I struggle with letter writing sometimes, because I really don't like my handwriting. Okay, so I've got a couple of favorites to talk about. So this I'm a little excited about. I have 12 that I want to mention. This is favorites. This is going to be my favorite books of January, favorite shows I've been watching, favorite random stuff. So the first thing I'm going to mention, so again, I've got 12 things I'm going to bring up. The first thing I want to mention are the books. So I had 3 books that I absolutely loved in January. One of them being A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This one we're following Pip as she tries to figure out what happened. Was it 15 or 5? I've heard both and I can't remember. It is 5. So 5, I think I probably said 15 and then it just stuck in my head. Anyway, so Pip is writing her senior year thesis, or what is she? I can't remember the word. It's not called a thesis in this. I can't remember the word. It starts with a C. Anyway, it's like a thesis. So she's doing that, and she's not happy with, 5 years earlier, it's a guy named Andy. Andy Bell was basically murdered, and they are trying to figure out, or she is not happy with how they went about solving that and who they accused. And so she's writing a thesis about her thoughts on that. And so she gets involved with the murder suspect's brother, and they start kind of piecing things together to find out what happened, what may have been pushed aside, what was basically racial profiling and things like that. I highly enjoyed that. It has phone interviews. I did listen to this via audiobook while I read along. It has phone interviews. It has text messages going back and forth between her and some other people that she's kind of interviewing. It talks about things that she may have found, like random notes. But I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I look forward to the second one. My next favorite book of the month was Emma. So this one you're following, obviously, Emma. And it's back in, I couldn't even tell you what time, but it's a long time ago, where the women wore dresses and the fun hats and the gloves, and they would take around umbrellas, and so they would always wear the dresses, and then they would wear an even fancier type of ball gown. That clear back then. So what I liked, the kind of laid back feeling, and part of that is because today Nowadays, it's just go, go, go. And in this time, it's like they knew when to sit down and just do whatever. It's like you don't always have to be rushing to something. They would walk to someone's house. They would do arts and crafts. They would, we're watching a lot of TV and stuff, which is fine. And of course, they didn't have the option back in this time, but it's just more of a leisurely pace, I think. I don't want to say they're lazy, because they are not by any means, because they're practicing the piano. They're learning how to sew. They're learning how to embroidery. They're honing all these talents and stuff. And sometimes they just sit and read and converse. And I think that's part of what I liked it too, is you don't have the technology like to just sit and text back and forth or talk via the phone. They would actually sit down and write letters. They would meet someone or go to someone's house and sit and have a conversation face to face. And so I just thoroughly love the atmosphere of this. My favorite character was Emma's father. So the side character, one of the side characters, was my absolute favorite. I thought he was just a peach. I really did not like two of the characters, which one was the priest, and then the priest's someone else related to the priest. I don't want to say who, because it'll spoil a little something in there. I thought those two characters are particularly snobby. Like, you think Emma is snobby at points. That's nothing compared to the priest and this other character that he's related to. But thoroughly loved it. Emma likes to do matchmaking and pair people up and watch them fall in love. And it just kind of goes through her journey as she continues to try and do that with like her friend Harriet, and watches as she starts to realize and learn that she is misinterpreting a lot of signals. My other absolute favorite read was Wednesday Walks and Wags by Melissa Storm. This one we are following Bridget. This is the second book in a series. Right now it is just a duology. I don't know if there's going to be more in. It's because there is a group of 4 friends, so I'm hoping there's going to be at least 2 more books, but I don't see any mention of that yet, wherever I've looked and on Goodreads and stuff. But it's in the first book, which is right here, which is the Sunday Potluck Club. This one follows Amy's perspective. So Bridget is a friend and a side character in the first one, and in the second book, Amy becomes the side character and supportive character. So you really need to read this first one, because the second one follows the events of the first one. So I'm going to talk about the first one, other than telling you that this one follows Bridget. So the first one, you're following Amy, and her and her 3 friends meet at a hospital which takes care of cancer patients. They bond over caring for people that they love who have cancer, and then dealing with the grief as these cancer patients ultimately pass away from the disease. So you're following as they learn to deal with their grief, how they all grieve different ways, what they try to do to support each other. I thought it was a very sweet book. It's adult. There is a little side romance. There is nothing graphic or explicit, so if you don't want any of that, this is definitely a good read. It's like a chick lit, but it is very, very sweet. And I thoroughly loved it, and so I definitely continued. And again, you're following Bridget in this one. The other thing about these is if you like books where they deal a lot with animals, then this is a good place to go as well. My next favorite I want to mention is just the candle, which I got from Bath & Body Works. I'm in the process of still burning it because I only burn it when I'm in my room and not while I'm at work. And I work 10-hour shifts, so I don't get a lot of time to burn this, but I'm absolutely loving it. The fragrance is Snowy Peach Berry. It is from Bath & Body Works. I'll check to see if they have any left in stock if you are interested in this, and then I'll kind of try and put a link to it below. But where it's a Christmas scent, I don't know if they're going to have any more left. I don't know. I just love it. I like the fruity stuff. This is... The fragrant notes are sweet peaches, tart cranberry, and sugared musk. I don't know. I have just thoroughly enjoyed this, and it is a very relaxing scent. One of the other things I've thoroughly enjoyed starting to do in January, for Christmas I got a Echo Dot, and so I've got that set up, and I have thoroughly enjoyed having it play while I lay in my bed and read, listening to classical music. And it just puts it on a station, and so it's everything from Mozart to Bach to Beethoven to modern classics to kind of some opera-like stuff where I can't understand the words they're saying, but I can tell it's a vocal, from violin and piano and just all sorts of classical music. I have also, with the classical music, have been playing it at night and having it help relax me, so I tend to sleep better and sleep more through the night. So that's been thoroughly enjoyable. So I've definitely been loving classical music. My next love for the month of January has been a puzzle, but not jigsaw. Sudoku. I do love doing jigsaw puzzles, by the way, but I've been focusing on my Sudoku puzzle book. I am almost done with it. I'm over halfway. This one goes from easy puzzles all the way to extreme. I am almost done with medium level. I have just been doing this during like my lunch break and stuff. While I work, so it's been slow going through this, but I've been focusing more on this and getting more of it done, and I'm absolutely loving it. I am on, again, I said I'm almost medium. I'm on puzzle 121, and there are only 8. Yes, I'm on the last 8 of the medium level, and then I'll be on hard. So, and I've done a Sudoku book before. I went through all the way through the extreme or some level past hard, and so I know I can do it because I've completed it before. But I love Sudoku. I think it's really fun, it's relaxing, and it takes focus, but at the same time it's just kind of it's not 100% focus. It's very just kind of, you can tune things out, other noises out around you, and so that's what I have enjoyed. I guess there's more 13 things. One of the things I do want to sneak in here is I also love to color, and so I have a ton of adult coloring books. And one that I found, I've just barely started in January. I haven't had time to continue, but I look forward to continuing coloring in it, and that is the Sagittarius Astrology Coloring Book. Yes, I am Sagittarius, hence why I got the Sagittarius one. So all I did was color the main thing. One thing with me is when I get a coloring book, I see it as a book, and I have tried to do this any other way, and it gives me so much anxiety to just flip it open and say I'm going to color this page, or to pick a random page. I have to go from front cover to back cover, so cover to cover, to color it. So anyway, that's just me, and I'm weird and I know it, but oh well. So I look forward to doing more of that. So this has, it has all the other 12 signs in there, just a couple of pages, but it's all, other than just the random page or two where it's like a wheel that has all 12 of the astrology signs. And I'm not big into astrology. I like things like this where it's to color. So, it's all, everything else is just Sagittarius symbols, or has something integrated, like this gal where she's got the arrow up in her hair and in her earrings. So, it's just, anyway, I look forward to continuing that. The next 2 things I will mention are some TV shows I have been watching. On Sunday night, I get together with my mom, and we watch 2 shows, and they are back to back. I think they start at 7, so one's from 7 to 8, and the other's from 8 to 9. They are both on PBS, which is, on PBS they do like a Masterpiece Theater. And I know one is a part of the Masterpiece Theater. I can't remember if the other one is. I think it is. But the first one I'm going to mention, the second show that comes on, I think 8, is called All Creatures Great and Small. And that one you're following a veterinarian. The dogs are fussing over the cat. Sorry, you're going to hear that for a little bit. But you're following a veterinarian and his assistant as they take care of the town's animals, from cats and dogs to big livestock cattle to bulls and cows and horses and stuff like that. And that's been a very sweet show, and to see who starts to get feelings for whom and kind of how things develop and things like that. So that's been enjoyable. My favorite of the two that I've been watching is the one I'm going to talk about now, which is Miss Scarlet and the Duke, or just Scarlet and the Duke. This one is a mystery series. This is back, it takes place in London. I think the first one takes place in Scotland. I can't remember. Anyway, this one takes place, I believe, in Scarlet and the Duke in London. And this is the time when the suffragettes just barely kind of started to get a little bit of momentum and started being talking about. Women could not be in the police force. It was just men. And so it follows Miss Scarlet as she tries to integrate herself into the profession of law to be like a detective and kind of solve crimes and stuff, but how she has all this opposition against her to prevent her from doing that just because she is a woman. And so that has been very fun to watch. And there are some scenes, of course, where people judge someone because of their race, and that's been interesting and very irritating as well. But but thoroughly enjoyable show. Absolutely love it. I highly recommend it. I just want to mention two of the drinks I have absolutely enjoyed this month, or for the month of January, I should say. As it has been cold, I have had much more hot chocolate. My favorite brand of hot chocolate is the Stevens brand. Any other brand, just sometimes it's just like too sweet, or there's not enough sweet flavor. But the Stevens is just right for me. I have thoroughly been enjoying particularly the candy cane flavor. So good, minty. I mean, it's like a warm candy cane, and it smells really, really, really good. Thoroughly been loving that. The other drink I particularly enjoyed has just been Diet Dr. Pepper, which I have some here because I just had lunch. So that I've been enjoying, and I know I need to reduce my soda consumption, but in the meantime, I have been enjoying that. I have had more water this month, but I'm still enjoying the Dr. Pepper. Only two more things to mention real quick. One is there's this nail place that makes nails called Impress Nails. They're temporary, and they're kind of like push-on nails. I have some nail glue that I also use, and so I have right now these, I don't know if you can see them real well. Focus on the nails. There you go. Anyway, so these nails, thoroughly enjoyed. I love getting my nails done. I love how my hands feel and look after. It's hard for me to go to a nail salon, one, right now with COVID and things being shut down and having to wear the mask. But anytime I go to a nail salon, my allergies kick up and I start sneezing. I don't have a problem with allergies with these, so I've thoroughly enjoyed them. One box is like $10 to $15 at the most that I have seen, and you get 3 sets of nails. They last about a week with the nail glue that I use. Otherwise, it's like 2 or 3 days, depending on the activity and how much you use your hands for stuff. But I have absolutely loved these, and I don't think I'll go to a nail salon really again. I've just thoroughly enjoyed these. The last thing I want to talk about real quick is my favorite snack for the month has just been popcorn. And I have 2 things that I put on my popcorn. I have these flavors, and this is the Kernel Seasons. I have white cheddar and ranch, and I use these together. So I use them separately, but mostly recently I've been using them together. I do just a quick little sprinkle of both, and it just takes the popcorn game to the next level. Have absolutely enjoyed these. But popcorn has generally always been one of my favorite snacks. So I'm going to get ready and watch Emma, because I did a buddy read of Emma with Lexi from Alexandria Rosalind. So now we're going to watch the movie, and I'm going to have some popcorn and use this seasoning. So that's been my February goals and the things I've particularly enjoyed in January. And I hope you guys are doing well and had a good month and are having a good month. And are enjoying some good reads, and just I hope you're enjoying life and and things like that. So until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.